data, but here I'm actually going to start with a dashboard that I created, or that, well, actually Ken created in a normal, sort of visual Tableau way. This is Hong Kong, and Ken was in Hong Kong a few months ago, and these are all the Airbnb listings that existed at that time. And the goal here was just to say, okay, what's going on here? And conveniently, I don't actually know Hong Kong very well. I'm somewhat familiar. I have a little bit of domain expertise in what housing is like and what apartments are like and things like that, but I really don't know Hong Kong at all. But sort of the first thing you notice if I just start to visualize the average rates that people are paying for these places is, like Tableau, I think I pronounced that right. Tableau is really spiking as a much higher, $3,000 versus over here it's $600 a night. So $3,000 a night. So I have a new capability here to ask the system to explain that to me. So what's going on? And when I click explain data, it's going to dispatch to the empirical engine in the background and fit dozens of Bayesian non-parametric models. The first set of models it fits are about estimating the expected value. So the general idea of explain data is we're going to start out with something that's surprising. And so this first line says the average daily rate is higher than expected, is much higher than expected. Because you would normally expect this to be between $500 and $1,500 per night. So that's just a model of expected value based on what you were looking at on the screen. And then what the system is going to do is offer a couple of suggestions about other things you could look at, like property type. So here I have a visualization showing me that there are actually a lot more houses in Tableau than in other districts. So in other districts in gray, houses, almost 50% of Tableau's houses. Actually, and this is a big part, we don't just want to keep people in this environment. I'm going to go ahead and jump out and be looking at that visualization here. And because I'm in the full Tableau environment, I can go ahead and just break that out and look at all of the data. And so now I'm looking at all the different types. Actually, I can't read sideways, so I'll do that. Looking at all the different types of data within, or all the different types of apartments, and comparing all of the data to Tableau, what you can see is that in most places apartments are the most common, but there's not very many of them in Tableau, and in houses are not common in Hong Kong, but there's an enormous number of them here. Well, in my case, I'm actually mostly interested in apartments. That's what I'm going to rent. I'm not renting a house. So I might go back and say, okay, now that I understand that, why don't I go in here and why don't I make myself a filter by type. Oops, did I fall off of what was my variable property type. So I can go ahead and add a filter by property type. And say that I only want to look at apartments. And so now I've gone ahead and filtered down to only looking at apartments. But actually, wait a second, it got worse. So when I'm only looking at apartments, all of a sudden Tableau sticks out even more. So, well, okay, I can just keep going. So again, I'm alternating back and forth between having the machine assist me and going ahead and making my own changes, making my own explorations. So now what I hear is, oh, there's actually only, so it's higher than expected. There's a single extreme value. It turns out there's only about 16 data points here, and one of them is priced at $78,000 per night, even though it's a one-bedroom, one-bath apartment. And the others are priced at somewhat more reasonable rates. So now I can go ahead and say, okay, never mind, add that. Let me look at another visualization where what I've done is to exclude that extreme value. So I can include the extreme value, and now I get the visualization I was seeing before. Or if I take it out, now things sort of stabilize, and I see that, oh, okay, actually there's nothing especially unique about Tableau. If I'm interested in where things are expensive, they're actually expensive more close to the urban core. So that's sort of using explain data, that's explain data, and using it to move through the data. We can use it in maps, we can use it in time series, we can use it in, why do whales live longer than other animals? And just ask it, this is just a data set off of public. So it's designed to be something you can invoke anywhere, to work with data that's already in the shape that you have your data in, and to be something that's just part of the user flow. It doesn't require you stepping dramatically outside of Tableau. It allows you to keep engaging and keep moving through that. When I was presenting this in Europe, some of the